Welcome everybody to La Voce with Lacroce. My name is Vince Lacroce, and today's episode is about the power of humor. I have a great old friend, class of 2013 from Laurie McDonald, Matthew Giuffrida, who was joining me this evening, talking a little bit about his life and basically what's happened to him since we last spoke. He's got over 33,000 followers, I think, on Instagram. Yeah, 32.9 to be.
Yeah, almost there.
Almost there. Like an internet sensation. You also studied acting. You're involved in some productions here in Montreal.
Yep.
In Tina's wedding. That I know that I believe got postponed this March as well because of
this
what
whole
happened.
thing. Yeah.
But I want to talk a little bit about you. What's happened with you. And everything about this journey that you're on. So welcome.
For sure. Thank you for having me. First off, this is great. Love podcasts.
Oh.
So I mean, a lot has changed from Laurier.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Changed. Yeah, that Matthew back then was very lawyer mindseted Matt. I was a lawyer in high school, right? And then that just kind of changed in CEGEP, and then I kind of stuck with finances. Started working at the TD Canada Trust in front of Laurier, actually. So I never left that area, and that was it. And then eventually I just kind of didn't run into, but I came across a Gary Vaynerchuk video. I don't know if you know who that is. Yeah. It was his permission video on Facebook, and honestly, that kind of just pushed me, because I've always loved acting. I've always loved doing that. And basically after that, once I saw that video, I just decided to quit school, quit work, like all at once, and just pursue it 100% and use social media to my advantage and kind of like showcase what I like to do on it. And if it was going to work, it works. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But at least now is when I'm going to do it, right? I'm not going to wait until 20, 30 years on the line and have regrets for not doing it, right?
But you're doing a phenomenal job. Everyone knows who you are and what you're doing, and you've developed some amazing characters that people have called up. Yeah. My personal favorite is Martin. But where did you get the inspiration from these characters? Was it a movie? Was it something you saw? Someone inspired you? Where does all this come from?
We have a lot of characters here in Quebec and Montreal. We're
a whole nother level.
Exactly. Got a lot of people here. So like pretty much just experience and people I've seen growing up, but a lot of it too is it's like a lot of my stuff has been done before. You know what I'm saying? It's I just put my own personal twist on it. For example, like the Sal character, that's pretty much Tony Soprano. I love The Sopranos. So I'll just kind of like that character's based off of him. But then again, I'll just tweak it, even like when I do, for example, Borat or something, I'll just tweak it to like modern day topics and stuff. But I'd say the inspiration is always like people. So that's why this COVID thing is really like, I like being out and watching and seeing, and you'll see a funny situation at Walmart and it's like, there's my next video, and that's what it is, or spin it in a certain way. So like that's where COVID right now is kind of like, I think, affected me the most, we'll say, in terms of like that, not being able to be out and seeing things happen.
How do you handle this whole COVID thing? It must be very difficult for you, being kind of confined. Your guy was a very extrovert type of a character, and now being confined at home. And how has that changed you? And how are you handling your own mental health?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm grateful that I get to work. Like most of my work comes I get to work at home, right? So I'll film skits at home and all that kind of stuff. Unless when I start doing those commercials, sometimes that's where I'll go out. So that has kind of been put on a little bit of a pause. Mm-hmm. But generally speaking, I like to go out. I'll be at the gym. After the gym, I'll run some errands. I like I said, being out around people and watching and all that kind of stuff. So I think that's where it's kind of like, I could still go to Walmart, but you're not supposed to be out. You know what I'm saying? You can't just walk around and stroll. This past weekend, I was at the old port, and it was nice to be outside and around people. But I mean, I think that's how it's affected me the most. I would say it's just not being able to. I know tomorrow the stores are opening, so I'm super ecstatic.
Yeah. Where's the first place you're gonna hit?
You know, I don't know. I'm probably gonna go around. I know some people are not gonna like to hear that because they're like, you know, you should be social distancing. You should be, like, you know, you take your precautions and you know, I think there's extremes. Like there's like the extreme side of things where it's like lock yourself in your room and don't leave for like 6 months,
Yeah.
and then there's a other extreme where like, you know, you just really don't care about anything. You take your precautions. You be careful. Wash your hands. Be safe. And it's pretty much that. But I mean, which store? I don't know. I don't know. Whichever one I can get into the quick.
Yeah. What are you
Whichever one
missing
has
the
the
most?
shortest lineup.
Yeah, that's right. What are you missing the most? The gym, the
Gym,
gym.
definitely.
A
Yeah,
lot of people, yeah, a lot of people are just can't wait or for a haircut or something, you know.
yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
yeah,
Haircut, I'm okay. I don't like cutting my hair normally. I'll cut it
yeah.
actually on set. I'll wait till like I get something and they'll cut my hair. But
That's good.
if not, I just
That's
let
good.
the. Well, even in high school, right? I had the ponytail. I don't know if you
That's
remember
right. That's right. How can I
that.
forget? How can I forget? I'm lucky enough that my wife, you know, I trusted her. She did a not too bad of a job there. So
Okay, nice.
she
There you go.
did it twice. So I'm glad. I'm glad. I need a fresh haircut. That's
Yeah.
just with me. Another question for you.
Yes.
What surprised you the most about you know, your popularity? And it's like, were you expecting all this support so quickly? I know that, you know, as soon as I mention your name, people light up. So you're doing an incredible job. Are you
Thank
happy
you.
with what has come
Yeah.
from your career change from, I guess, lawyer to now actor slash comedian? Is there something that you want to say even to the people who are watching?
Yeah. Well, first of all, just like a massive, massive like thank you. I'm very, very grateful. To be completely honest, my goal is always to become an actor, and the idea of Instagram was first just to make videos where I can act and be funny and do the stuff that I like to do and do voices and characters and everything, in order to kind of showcase, have a portfolio, right? Because the whole idea of like, you know, you need an agent, and then, you know, if you want to like get the big roles, you got to go to LA, you got to move to LA and
Yeah,
be there. Yes, that helps, but now like you can make a video, tag a bunch of LA people, hashtags and all that kind of stuff, and reach the LA like target market sort of thing, you know. So you don't actually have to
have you
do
gotten
that.
any of those callbacks? Anybody seen your work and interested
Um,
in having you go down
more
to LA,
so,
California?
more so because a lot of my stuff is like Canadian based, more
Yeah.
so Canada. So I have had people from Toronto reach out. I have had people. Where was it was Alberta. I think it was Alberta as well.
Okay.
You know, so like that Canadian style of people, but throughout Canada. So like not only just Montreal, but like across Canada as well, which
So
is
you still
interesting.
work.
Which is the goal. Sorry.
So you're still working presently, but doing stuff like locally, right? Meaning that you're working from home and you're able to, after everything kind of gets back to normal, you're going to be traveling again and doing some things across Canada.
Yeah, so the thing is that like the way I like to see it is that my stuff is kind of split into two. So you got the social media side and you have the acting side. The acting side is just completely on pause. Like there's nothing filming.
No,
If there is commercials, it's stuff at home, but there again, you need like proper equipment. You need like home studio style things.
of course.
Yeah. So, but then after there's my social media side, which I have complete control over. So I'll create my own video, my own commercial style thing. So if a company is willing to let me film, well, then I'll do it. So I'm grateful in that sense that I have control over that. But like the acting side is complete. It's like complete lockdown practically. And
Yeah.
I don't know when they're going to start up again. Maybe I think they're saying like maybe July or so. But I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of background work. There's a lot of roles, movies, TV shows. It's all, you know, everything's been pushed back and put on pause. But
Anybody, if you had I'm sorry I cut you off, but speaking of your acting, anybody you'd love to work with, someone like a dream, like what would be your dream cast, and what type of movie or thing would you want to be involved in? You know, would it be like something like a small screen or something big screen? Like who inspires you? Who are those actors that kind of say, that's my goal, that's where I want to go?
yeah, you know, small, big. I like to touch upon everything because everything has its own type of like uniqueness, and you learn like very specific things from everything. Right? When you're on a big movie set, you learn stuff. When you're on a small movie set, you learn different things. I would love to be in one of those classic like mobster movies.
Okay.
100%. I like to do like my own horror movie. So
Really?
horror movie.
Oh,
Either, but that one is more of like I would want that to be my masterpiece sort of thing. Like I would want to like write
direct.
it or direct exactly, like be in it, but also like direct it. And yeah, but I mean like actors. There's so many great actors. Like I love Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Uh, yeah. You
Incredible.
know, again the classics: Al Pacino, Robert De Niro. You know, you cross your fingers that you hope.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
You know something. What's his name? Hardy. I forgot his name, but he played Venom. He played.
Oh yes, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
His name escapes me, but I know I see him.
Hardy? Is it Hardy? It's something Hardy, no?
I believe so. We can maybe figure that out. But I know exactly who you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Anyway,
Yeah.
phenomenal actor.
Yeah. Yeah.
As well. Yeah. There's so. Anyway, there's like.
How about Broadway? Because you're so like natural, right?
But,
Doesn't New York, the Broadway scene, you don't see yourself
I'm
maybe.
not much of a theater guy.
No.
Like it has to really be a project that I really want to work on.
Yeah.
And a role that like really like interests me. If not, like theater doesn't like. I'm not a big fan of the whole live performance stuff. You know, like a lot of people come to be like, oh, can you like do stand-up comedy? And it's like it's very different than, you know, like what I like, the forecast, the random videos that I do. It's all edited. It's all like you guys see the polished video, but there's like 40 takes behind it, plus practice, plus, I mean, theater as well, right? There's practice behind it. I get all that. Stand-up comedy, there's practice, but it's like I'm very specific with like delivery, I guess, and stuff. And
Sure.
I don't know. I mean, eventually, like I'd like to get into it, but theater is really like at the last thing I would say is not.
It's not your thing. Do you have a
Yeah.
favorite character? Yeah, I know you have many different characters, and is there one that you really enjoy more than others that you like to kind of?
I don't know what I do.
Yeah.
You know, they're all. This question, I always have a hard time answering this question. I like them all in their own way, I guess. You know, like Sal for me is like I'm living that like.
That dream of that.
That the dream of like the mobster thing, where like he doesn't, you know, he doesn't care, and I'm not sure if you can swear on the podcast or not. But
Hey, you can. No worries.
Okay. Sounds good. But yeah, you know, the whole like with the cigar thing, and the jewelry and this and that, and the whole look and the slick back hair and everything. And then Martin is fun because it's so much energy, and it's like Martin. The thing about Martin is that there's a little bit of like that truth. You know, like you're looking at stuff and you're like, how is this possible? Like, how is this happening? And the reason why he does well is that he almost speaks for so many people, right? Everyone knows, you know, again, it's like, oh, they're planning, they're rolling out plans to put 300 and something kilometers of bike paths. It's like, but why?
Yeah. You do it in such a clever way to kind of make your point, and people laugh about it, but
yes.
it gets to people because it's something that speaks to them. It really, like when you were doing some of that stuff, I was like, my God, I wish I could say what he's saying, but Martin does it in such an like an amazing way that, you know, you're like, damn, that's exactly what I feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you basically take and encompass every Montrealer's thoughts and what they want to say in that one character, which I just love, you know, the way you do it.
Thank you. But I mean, yeah, that's one thing about him, and it's funny because like my brain when it comes to this, and I guess it's like the acting side, it's like Martin is Martin, like it's almost like he's his own entity, and like we're two separate people, and what he says is, well, he said it, like I didn't say it, sort of thing. It's you know, it's that sort of like that sort of thing, but yeah, so I guess that's why it allows me to just kind of like go out there and just like bash and just, you know, completely say what I gotta say ish. I guess because after that.
How's your family feel about all this success and, you know, like all of this amazing work that you're doing? I could imagine, or I would imagine that they're very, very supportive of what you're doing, and
very, very supportive. I have a great family so at the beginning of this, I didn't tell anyone, like guys from school, Jeremy, Kevin, everyone that you everything. Yeah, like everything was, I'm working on a project. So I didn't want that like outside, like maybe you should keep your schooling, maybe you should keep your job. All you can do both at the same time. I'm like, no, I'm in this 100% and that's it. Told everyone it was a project, except for my parents. Parents, like, they knew where I was going with this, and they're like, well, if it's something you want to do. And I mean, it wasn't completely random, because I had done theater when I was a kid. I was always doing voices and stuff. And
Where?
it makes sense. Sorry?
Where were you doing this before? I never knew that. Where
Yeah,
were
so
you?
like theater, I used to be with the Yellowbug Theater School.
Okay.
When I was at John Paul, secondary 1, secondary 2, and
Okay.
elementary school as well. I did about 3-4 years with them.
Oh wow.
It was theater, so half the year was like improv and practicing and everything, and then we would put on a showcase afterwards. And so that was theater, and yeah, and then I did, and then I kind of like trickled off. High school came along, and then I jumped on YouTube, which I regret, because I regret stopping, because I had started it and stuff was going great back when YouTube was like first starting up, and I stopped because I listened to the outside world, and they're like, well, YouTube isn't, it's a phase, it's not a real job, it's like focus on school and all that kind of stuff, where I should have continued.
No.
I stopped, and then I left the channel open, and now I'm back into it, and I'm like full force into, like, I didn't want, like, I remember this Instagram, Facebook, and everything. Facebook was fine, but it was more Instagram and Snapchat. All my friends were like, "Oh, get it," and everything. Ashley, and I'm like, no, it's a waste of time. It's not. And now I'm just glued. I'm constant. Everything is.
Of course, on TikTok, right?
TikTok, and yeah. Like, I'm just like trying to jump on as quickly as I can.
So how much time do you invest? Because people like want to know, like, maybe inspiring someone who is watching you right now, like their dream is to do something like that. How much time are you investing in what you're doing? Because I can imagine that just in the video editing, because I do video and photography on the side, I know what it takes to kind of sometimes piece in together and make sure that what you're saying is flawless. And even when you did that whole COVID video where you had all your characters around the table, that must have taken quite a bit of time. You had to get to be in character of each one and make it seamless, which it looked amazing. So how much time do you invest in this?
Every video has its own, I guess, time period. When there's a lot of editing like that, then the editing comes in, and there's like, a couple of hours, if not, like, I mean, like a video like that one probably took me roughly 3 hours or 4 hours to edit. Like, it's complex, but it's not like I don't really go into like the color detailing and all that kind of stuff. Like, I just kind of like piece it together.
Of course.
Make sure everything flows and everything. And then like the ideas. I'm grateful that the idea portion of the work comes really easily for me. Like it's just like just as I was writing the script for tonight, I came up with another like 3-4 ideas that popped up into my head with a word or a sentence or something that I just wrote down. And I said, okay, we're gonna develop this like on another day. But like for me, I'm very, very grateful. I've had some people say like, oh, when I first started, like, you're gonna run out, you're gonna burn out eventually. Like, those ideas are gonna stop. Yeah. For now, I can't complain. Like, they're still firing, and like, if not, like, even more so. So,
are you developing any new characters? Are you adding anybody to the mix? I would imagine that a guy who's very creative, that has already his niche in the different types of things that you're doing. Are you looking into maybe reinventing Matthew again in a different form or a different character? Or?
Yeah, so that's always exciting. I see like the characters really do well. I'm half Portuguese, so naturally I would want to do a Portuguese character.
Of course, there's a very strong Portuguese community in Montreal as well.
Exactly, yeah. Portuguese. I've had countless amount of people, Greek, ask me to do Greek characters. And so the characters are fun, and I like creating them and trying to, because it's basically like you have a voice and you just find where that voice kind of fits in. And then, but the thing is that when you're doing that, it's very like specific to that either community or,
of course,
so like my idea too is to kind of like do just some like general style comedic videos that touch on, that can be funny to everybody, to break into that United States market, to break into like further across Canada. Because right now it's very like Montreal, Quebec based. I'm very grateful for it. Love it. And the Quebec and Montreal community is strong, and the support is great. The Italian community as well too. So, yeah, but the thing is, like, my brain is always on like grow like, further, like, you
Of
know.
course.
Yeah,
Of course, of course, of course. And you were saying that you have a lot of strong ties in Toronto and Alberta and stuff like that. Those communities are getting larger and following you and all that stuff.
for sure. So like, yeah, like I'm noticing that like there's a lot of people that will share my videos, and it's like, oh, it's like, hey, I'm from Alberta, I used to live in Quebec, but that's always the thing. They always have some tie to Quebec, right? It's like,
Yeah, of
oh,
course.
I lived in Quebec, I was born in Quebec, so like this is funny to me. I lived in Quebec. A lot of people in the States as well. A person the other day from Phoenix, like, oh, I'm living in Phoenix now. I lived in Montreal for 10 years, and
Wow.
like I get this, you know what I'm saying? So
Of course.
it's like slowly spreading around, you know, and it's that's what's cool. Like, it's, you know, it's cool because like it represents kind of the people, I guess, here. Like, no,
Of
maybe
course.
not people, but like people get the humor if they're from Quebec or Montreal or have been here. And yeah, I mean, it's just it's a slow process, but you gotta love that part of it. Like, it's
Speaking of humor, who makes you laugh? You know, you spend a lot of time making us laugh and making us forget that we're kind of sometimes, you know, isolated in our homes and you know, in our backyards. And now with the weather being nicer and stuff, it's helped. But who makes you laugh? Who you know, which comedians do you like aspire or try to mimic or someone you look up to?
yeah. So like comedian wise, like, you know, like I love Jerry Seinfeld, Bill Burr.
Yeah.
Um, I keep forgetting his name. Beer. He passed away a couple. Carlin, George Carlin. George Carlin.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
Carlin. And Key and Peele are great. Like, their skits are like ideal. Like, I love what they do with their skits.
Yeah, they're amazing. You just take it to another level, you know. It's
Yeah,
what I find Saturday Night Live needs. You know, they don't have that. I find that it's dipped a bit, and they have that that
yeah,
chemistry that
100%. And you know, personally, I think Mad TV was like, if you look at the Mad TV stuff versus SNL stuff, I find SNL has some key
great.
pieces,
Yeah, of
but
course.
Mad TV was great.
Yeah,
Like the whole Coach Hines stuff,
yeah, of course.
like with Will Sasso as well. Like
Yeah.
he's hilarious as well. Yeah, so like a bit of everywhere. Like, my comedy is all over the place.
See, I always loved a guy like Eddie Murphy, and
Yeah, yeah,
and I remember watching the SNL Eddie Murphy when he came back and he did like he came back for the anniversary I just love his storytelling. I think the way I connect with comedians is like the way they're able to kind of convey their story and make you feel a part of it. And I think you're doing the same sort of thing with some of the characters that you've developed and built. So which is amazing.
yeah, 100%. It's again, comedy is like, it's very, very subjective, right? I mean, it's like, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. And that's one thing that I had to like drill into my head, was like, not everybody is gonna find this funny. Like, for example, brother does great. My mom, for example, she's like, you know, yeah, like it's funny, but it's, you know, it's like, it's almost like, it's like a little stupid, you know, with the words and everything. It's like, but like, you know, and then and then same thing with my dad too. Brother, like, he'll like it, but then it depends. It's like, so. Like, for him, the Latina character, my mom loves it. My dad's like, eh. Like, I'll show them the video first, and like, you'll get one reaction, and then, you know, another reaction, and you post it, and then it goes wild, and it's like, oh, okay, cool, that's what people wanted to see. And then yeah. And actually, one thing that I'll say that's very interesting, I'm starting to realize now, because of TikTok. So bigger videos where you have like multiple characters, the editing, the acting, the filming, the
Mhm.
multiple hours of like piece, it does well. But then you'll film something where I'm not even filming myself, I'm filming something and I'm just talking behind the camera. That's 15 seconds post, and that will go absolutely like crazy. And I'm sitting
Really?
there like, wait a minute, this took me 15 seconds to make versus 6 hours. And
Yeah.
the 15-second one is just going crazy. And I'm like, okay, interesting. All right. And I'm okay with that. Like, I like doing my stuff. Like, I love like the creating of the whole scenario and everything. But the 15-second stuff is interesting because, for one, it's much quicker for me. In
Oh,
six
absolutely.
hours, at 15 seconds a shot, there's a lot of content that can be made.
No,
Right?
for sure. And you have, it's a teaser to something else, right? It's a build to something else. You say one thing and then boom and boom and boom and boom and boom.
Exactly. And And then I guess, you know what? And I guess that's the type of content that, and it makes sense because people want quick stuff where like I'll watch it, it's 15 seconds. I can watch it like 4 times if I want, and I'm still within that minute versus like if something is 2 minutes long, I got to stay there for 2 minutes. It's got to keep my attention versus 15 seconds, 20 seconds. It's quick, it's there. And like they'll watch it a couple times and then they'll move on or they'll share it and it's quick. And I think that's the society we live in now. It's like it's quick. You want fast.
So are you finding that your videos are moving into that direction as well? You're gonna kind of condense them a bit, make them more under that, I guess, 59-second mark type of thing, like so that it can be posted even on an Instagram type thing. Even though you can extend an Instagram video, but you want to keep it under that quick fix minute or so, or
yeah. So it's funny because when I started, all the videos were 59 seconds.
Okay.
And then Instagram introduced IGTV. And then I was like, I'm like, do people want to stick around for a video that's longer than a minute? You do 1, you do 2, you do 3. Now, I almost have a hard time making a 59-second video. All my videos are closer to the 2-minute mark. Because, I don't know, it obviously allows more time to create a story and build up and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, now I'm noticing that like I think the ideal is a mix of the two. You know, where you can have a video where there's 2 characters, like the seatbelt one that I did recently. I think people like that. Like I get a good engagement on that, where like it's between 2 characters and it's a funny situation sort of thing. But then also like the quick videos are also like appreciated as well. It's like it's quick, it's funny, got my fill. I'm moving on to the next one.
Which video has been the most successful? The one that you've posted and it's got the most hits and the most views, and was that the one that you said, yeah, that had to be the one that was the best?
Well, okay, so there's 2. So the one that really was like a big breakout video was the Martin Champlain Bridge one.
Yes.
That I to this day it's like, oh, you're the Champlain Bridge guy. Like it's literally like it's that video there in terms of like Facebook and Instagram, YouTube as well. However, if I have to go with the video that has the most views, it's a TikTok video. I was driving to Galerie d'Anjou, and I saw these 2 cars. It was like a Subaru and a Honda. They both had like the big wings in the back. I'm driving and I passed it, and I'm like, that's funny because in the Borat movie, he says like, oh, my neighbor gets a clock radio. I get clock radio. He gets clock radio. I get window. He gets window. He's like, I get iPod. He can't afford it. So funny. I'm driving. I'm like, that would be okay. Pull a U-turn, park next to them, get out of the car. I'm standing in the snow and I'm like, I'm trying to film this a certain way. And I do it. I'm like, I get a wing for the car. He gets a wing for the car. I'm like, but I have 310 horsepower. He has 306. And I did the Borat thing and I posted it. And forget it, for like 3 days straight on TikTok, it just flew. Like to this day, like it's still moving, and it's like that's where I really realized I'm like, I don't get it. It's so quick. It's so I'm not even in it. Jumping behind the camera, you know, and it's
connected. So which is amazing, right? And
it was interesting, and that's like very interesting. And I was like, okay, cool. So like this works too. And it's just another media, you know. Some days, like I don't feel like dressing up and editing and all that kind of stuff. I just need something quick. Well, I know now that that's going to work. You know, how
often do you or how much would you like to post, or what is your you feel comfortable posting? Like you do one a day, you want to do 3 a day? What's a good day? What's a good week for you? And what are you looking for in that?
Ideally, like my minimum I would like to do is 1 video a day.
Okay.
Regardless if it's like a 3-minute video or a 15-second video, like at least 1 piece of content a day, in terms of video wise. The thing is that when COVID started, I was able to get my camera guy and like we spent a couple of hours together and I filmed like a whole bunch of video, but I filmed about like 5-6 videos. And I liked having that bank of like, you know, we filmed for this amount of time. Now you edit them and like, here's your videos for the week. But then I was also filming extra content for the mornings. So I was doing 2 videos a day for about 2 weeks, I think. And then I saw, I'm like, hey, this is feasible. It was a little more work, but I'm like, but this is feasible. So like maybe 2 posts a day could work. better than one post. But ideally, I think one good post a day is good, with a mix of stories and that kind of stuff. Maybe like another post, like maybe like that's the thing about the like I like the comedy and everything, but I would also like to make the page like me. So
Of course.
like to put a person behind it. It's not just some random like
Of course.
yeah. So just like a mix, I guess.
And have you been getting, I guess, companies and businesses to kind of, because of your reach, and have you been doing commercials and those type of things for, for different companies around Montreal? I know I saw one that Martin was outside of, in Moncton, next to the
Yeah.
joint, and you're kind of doing that thing. You're getting more of those type of opportunities to kind of promote locally and doing that stuff.
Yes, 100%. And it's cool. So with that, my goal was always to like, because people think commercials and they're like, oh, well, commercials are boring. When you're watching TV, you PVR everything, you fast forward the commercials, you don't care to watch them. But I'm like, but in my head, it's like when you're watching the Super Bowl, there's a percentage of people who watch the Super Bowl only for the commercials. So in my head, it's like, that's the type of commercial I want to make, where even if you don't care about the pizza or you don't care about the product, at least you're still laughing at what
Of course.
is going on. So you're still getting something, you're getting some laughter, you're getting some comedy. Whether you like the product or not, well, it's extra. But at least I got the people to see the product, it's there, and that sort of thing. So I have fun with those because it takes me out of my house for one, puts me in a new location, and I have like a whole new world to like work with. If it's a gym, if it's a pizza place, if it's a company that makes books or laptops or whatever, it's like it's a new playground.
For sure.
That way. Yeah.
So we've been focusing a lot on what you've been doing as a business and as an outlet and meeting us all up. But what do you do for fun? What is something? How do you enjoy yourself? And what's a typical day for Matthew? And tell us something that people don't know about you. Something that you'd be like, oh wow, I didn't know that it was into that. I know that you like going to the gym. It's something that you're very passionate about. Also, your brother. You guys kind of doing that together.
Yep.
So a little bit about you. What do you do? If you have some free time, what does your free time consist of?
If I have some free time, like this morning, we went fishing. I love to fish.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 100%. Love fishing. I like everything about cars as well. So whenever there's a car event or something, a car meetup sort of thing, if I have the free time, I like to go there, hang out, meet people, look at cars, and talk about the cars and all that kind of stuff. 100%, or go on drives like with other cars and stuff, and like my friends and everything. Volleyball, right?
Yes, of course.
That all started in
I love
Laurier.
Yeah, that's right. Shout out to Marzanato.
Yeah, definitely. So like those are pretty, like if I'm not doing my work, I'll probably be doing one of those either one of those three things or stuff related to that. I mean, like I'm not big, like it's funny acting. I'm not big on I like watching movies, but I'm not big on it. My mind is like if you have time to watch a movie, you should be like trying to make your own movie, or you should be trying to make your own videos, style of thing.
I get it.
I'm kind of like hard on myself in terms of that. Like, instead of like taking time to watch a movie, you should be working, sort of thing ish.
But if you had to watch one movie, or what's the movie that, like, if you had to watch it, what would it be and why?
Oh boy. Right now there's I haven't seen Parasite yet, which won a whole bunch of awards. Parasite, and just some, like, there's so many, like, I've noticed there's so many movies out there. Like there was one with Aaron Paul that I did watch, and it was a good movie, and it's just like they're not out there. They're movies that are made, either Netflix specials that fly under the radar, but they're just really great movies. A bunch of Netflix series as well. I think Money Heist is one.
Yeah, that's great.
Papa Del something is another one, I think, or Papa Del.
I've seen it scrolling along the list of what's hot and what's trending.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Yeah.
So if you would binge watch something, what would it be right now? What would be your thing to kind of I can watch that?
To binge watch that I haven't seen yet, maybe not Game of Thrones. It would probably be like Money, like one of the newer ones, like Money Heist, or there's that other one that's all in Spanish. I forgot what it's the.
Yes, I know which one you're talking about. The
Ah,
God.
I'm terrible with this stuff. Like
Yeah, I was watching one with Pablo Escobar, and
that one's Narcos.
that's right.
Narcos. I think they did 2 seasons of that.
Yeah, that was excellent. I enjoyed that a lot as well.
Wait, there's also the one about the Italian mafia. Peaky Blinders. Sorry, my brain is just bouncing everywhere. Peaky Blinders is another one that I haven't seen yet. That is supposedly
I
really
haven't seen
good.
it. I was told to watch it. I heard it's really, really good.
Blinders. But the mafia one, the Italian mafia one, which is supposedly like really good. Sorry, I gotta look it up.
No
It bothers me, but yeah. So like, but then again, if I'm binge watching, it's like I'm the type where like I'll have to watch everything, get it over with, and then okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
Because then what happens is like I'll start. Like, started watching Suits the first 3 seasons.
I loved Suits, man.
Harvey
Specter was.
Harvey, yeah. So when I wanted to be able to become a lawyer, that was like, oh my god, that was gold. Like I love that.
Actually, it was one of my things as well. Before doing, like, it's weird. My job is really not where I thought it was going. I took a lot of law classes in CJET and even some in university, and I studied business. I have a marketing background as well. That's why when you talk about commercials and putting things together, my favorite part of like the Super Bowl, other than watching the Super Bowl, which is cool, is the creativity, the wittiness of being able to kind of showcase a product and look at it in a different way, and you're like, oh my god, wow, that's amazing, you know?
Yeah.
So when you talk about stuff like that, it really hits home. But yeah, Suits and being a lawyer was on my wanting to do a list, you know? Who knows?
Sure. Who knows? You never know.
Who knows? Maybe one day.
Show's called Gomorrah.
Okay, there you go.
Now, the talent show's called Gomorrah. Speaking of like filming and cool everything, did you watch the recent war movie? I think it was 1919 or 19.
Yeah, it was in 1917.
1917.
Yes, I haven't seen it. Visually, I like the trailer. Looks awesome, but because I have 2 little girls at home, they kind of monopolize every every part. So whatever I have an opportunity to watch, I've been I watch either late at night. Actually, I was watching something as a kid growing up. I loved wrestling, and they're doing the Dark Side of the Ring on Creative TV. I was just talking about the lifestyles of like professional athletes and these wrestlers, and wow, it's like really changes your view on something that I grew up like enjoying watching as a kid. I don't really watch it now, but I was like, wow, I used to know these characters, and this is what happened to them. It's really interesting. So it's if you like that documentary type style, something cool to watch.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, like that. So that's something that I really like watching, is like documentaries. So like if I'll sit down to watch something, so like a TV show like Game of Thrones, for me that's more of like a leisure thing where like you sit down and kind of like escape sort of thing. But my thing is like I'll watch a documentary and I'll be able to learn something. You know what I'm saying? So like at least I'm getting some sort of information. So yeah, there was even the Netflix one about the whole vegan.
That's right.
The weightlifters or the athletes and vegetarianism, I think, and how like, or just no meat basically. And Arnold Schwarzenegger was there and he was talking, I switched that. Very interesting. You know, when you're looking at these athletes and they're performing so well and at a high pace and sometimes better than just, other athletes who are eating meat, and you're just kind of sitting there like, well, wait a minute, like this kind of does work. It's interesting. There's a lot of documentaries like that now that are coming out that are like they'll give you this sort of information. What I want to say is that touch back on the 1917 movie. I'm not going to spoil anything, but what I really think is that, like you said, you like the editing and piecing everything together. The movie looks like it is filmed in one take.
Wow!
Like the whole beginning part, you're sitting there and you're like, I remember sitting there watching, and I'm like, the camera hasn't cut yet. Like I'm just sitting there, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, this is all. There's no cuts. There is, but I mean,
it's done so well that
it's done so exactly. It's done so well. It's like the camera will go into like a dark tunnel and then come out. That's where they'll cut, so you don't know that there's a cut.
Of course.
But nonetheless, like, oh wow, like it's just
No, you're gonna maybe tonight. Who knows? Maybe I'll just.
Yeah.
I'll try.
Especially like you'll notice right away, like the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you're like, this camera hasn't cut for the first 15 minutes of the movie. And yeah, anyway, there's a lot of talking and everything. So especially for the actors,
Yeah.
like normally like you'll memorize a chunk of lines. Okay, cut, redo it. But this is like you're talking to this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, and you're like, ooh, it's 15 minutes of like dialogue that you have to remember without cuts. So
Yeah.
I was really like intrigued by that. It was cool.
For myself, I remember watching Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah.
Oh my god! From the first 5 minutes, I was like the movie got me, and it was like I gotta watch it to the end, and it was like still something I think I can watch over and over and over again. Something I don't know, the power of like film. I just find now that there's a lot of reboots. These reboots, man,
Yeah.
I'm missing that creativity. You know, the stuff that is unique or new, and the ones that win usually are something that is like something unique that hasn't been done before. So,
yeah, like a lot of the reboots, unfortunately, I think it's more of like let's see how much money we can make off of this already popular name.
yeah.
You know, people are gonna watch it because there's a name to it already, instead of like just creating something that's new. With what's his name? The movie. It's a horror movie with the guy from The Office, Jim. I forgot his real name. Ryan? No.
Which one? I'm thinking of all the other horrible ones. Like there was Total Recall that was just horrible. There was a Ghostbusters one that was horrible.
Yeah, no. Like this one was a new concept. It's him and his wife
Okay.
play in it, and it's the whole movie is like you have to be quiet because the monsters attack and come out if you make noise. Basically,
That's that one.
I forgot what it's. No, it's horror movie. A Quiet Place.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
So
Yeah.
I didn't watch it yet, but just the concept of it, I remember people saying like the whole movie is quiet because that's the whole concept of it. It's like you have to be quiet, so everything is like mimed. Just so cool. You know, it's like that's different. And when I think of saying like when I say I want to make a horror movie, it's something along the lines of like, oh, wait a minute, this is really cool. Like the first Paranormal Activity. Oh, this is interesting.
What was a horror movie that kind of scared you? Like something that you were like, shit, I can't believe I watched that, and you left. What?
So, I mean, the first Paranormal Activity was interesting. Was that The Exorcism of Emily Rose?
Yeah, that was
that one, not the original Exorcism. Right? Was the original Exorcism? No, the original Exorcism was just The Exorcism.
Yeah, it was the original one that kind of changed the game a bit.
Yeah.
In that thing, it kind of left me a bit. Coming from a family who's super religious and you don't talk about that sort of stuff. So, but anything that I guess deals with that was left me with a.
Yeah. So anything that deals exactly with the paranormal, like that was pretty. That was interesting. For me though, one of them I think it was Sinister, the first Sinister.
Mm-hmm.
It was just completely different because in all regular horror movies, the demon kills a couple of people, gets expelled, family's happy, you know, and you move on to the next movie and all that kind of stuff. Like, you know, we got our house back, that's great. Versus Sinister was a bit different. I won't spoil anything. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it. Like I said, it's kind of hard with the little ones, but it's I'm gonna check it out for sure.
Yeah.
I love watching them late at night, though, right? Because you gotta watch it later.
You kind of have to. I mean, if you can't watch that, Sunday morning breakfast with some eggs.
That's right. It doesn't have the same feel. It doesn't work. But 11:30, 12 o'clock is a good time to kind of pop it in.
Perfect, exactly. But Anyway, the Sinister. Like, I didn't watch the second one, but the first one, I was like, they did something. It was a twist, so I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah. So, do you believe in ghosts? Do you believe in all that stuff? You're talking about all that. I know it's a question out of the field, but
I don't know. Like, I want to say yes, but then again, like I believe that we can kind of contact
Okay.
The dead, whatever, I'll say that. Yeah. I think so, but I don't know about like the whole spirits and stuff, like moving.
Moving stuff and all that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. People will say, yeah, like it's happened and I've seen it and all that kind of stuff. But like I like contacting, yeah, I do believe
That there's something out
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Which connects with your horror thing. When you're planning on going in that direction, when are you planning on wanting to kind of do this? Is that your goal in the next 5 years? What do you see yourself doing in the next couple of years? Now you're doing amazing and your career is going this way, right? So
Yeah.
where do you see yourself going?
I think I just want to like upgrade for now my focus is just upgrading the videos a little bit. So like even if it's a quick 15-second video, even if it's a longer video, I want them all like professionally filmed. So I have that like intention with my camera guy. Just to give it that quality, because I see the quality that's out there, sort of thing, and they're all, and not only in terms of quality, but it makes it easier on myself, and it allows me to do so much more. So if I'm like, for example, if I'm filming a forecast at the old port, if I have to set up my tripod, I can't move. Like I gotta stay there and that's it. Versus if someone's filming me, I can walk around, I can run to the tree, and I'm mic'd up, and you'll still hear me properly. So like, you know, it's like it's just that's what I mean by the quality, and in terms of like I can do so much more in terms of it. You know, if I want to take off and jump into the lake or whatever it may be, like I can do that type of stuff.
Yeah,
right now, the flexibility, right, and which is why I love like doing the commercials, because that's where I have my camera guy and I can a whole new location, so I just like go completely wild there. You know. And then that's it. It's to do those types of things and do those types of videos like that. That's my close range plans. And then I don't know, like eventually, like it's probably going to be like a YouTube movie. I would think,
really?
You know, maybe like if people, I would like to take complete control over like the whole like the financing and everything. So that'll have to wait. But I mean, like I would like to have a complete control over what the movie is and how it turns out, and the writing and the whole casting and everything,
the directing and all,
and the directing and the producing and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so I don't know when, but I mean, like to do that, the only place you can really put it is online. So it would be like a YouTube movie, I guess, which I think YouTube is coming out with their own like movie section now.
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so.
Which is cool.
But like I said, it's that one post or that one video that I'm sure that you're in that direction, going in that direction. Yeah. So
that's something you were saying before. You know, if people are watching, want to get into this, it's literally one post away. TikTok, I've seen so many accounts that have one video, and the video got 6 million views, and the guy has 70,000 followers. And you're just like, one video. They had something funny in mind. They had something interesting, cool. They filmed it, done. It's just.
Who do you follow?
Sorry?
Who do you follow? Like, I know that you have, like I said, 30,000, but you got 900 followers. Who do you follow? I would imagine close friends and stuff like that. Yeah. But anybody?
Close friends, family. I love like Joe Sanigato. Trey Kennedy is a guy who's like doing these types of skits where he does it himself and everything. Like he's really cool. Ed Bassmaster, I think he's another one who does like character based videos. He's really cool. And then just like you know, SNL, like the whole kind of like, and you know, Kevin Hart, Gary Vee, all the big guys, The Rock. Those guys are such a motivation, even though like they're actors and they're doing the thing, but they're such a motivation because they do so much. Now, yeah. I get that they have like a team and people working behind them and all that kind of stuff, and the massive help, but still like they do so much. Yeah. You know, and you're just sitting here like, I'm not doing half, like even a quarter of the operating power that they have, and it's interesting to see.
Well,
get there.
You should watch, like I said, I was watching a documentary of Arnold Schwarzenegger who talks about his whole life and his whole dream about, you know, being Mr. Olympia, and you gotta live and you gotta breathe and take it all in, and you gotta love what you do, and all these guys like The Rock, you know, his workout regiment, man, he's up before anybody else, and he's at the gym at 4 o'clock in the morning, and he's giving it all. And I think that's, you know, in 2020, that's what it's gonna take to kind of get you there. And you're like doing an incredible job. You know, like really proud to kind of see you from this kid I knew at Almac, and long hair, and coming hang out in my office to doing some great things here in Montreal. And you know, and wish you like nothing but the best, man. It's been
thank you,
awesome,
really
awesome
appreciate
seeing your journey, and just, you know, pulling for you. And if there's anything I could do, like, you know, you let me know as well. But
likewise
for being a part of today, and kind of talking about, you know, the importance of, you know, laughing, you know, because it makes things better. You know, there's so many positive benefits from, you know, just laughing and enjoying life. You know, you're looking at the world, you know, the way you look at it. So it's awesome. So
yeah. You know, not to sound cheesy, but you know, laughter is the best medicine. It's an escape, like TV, like anything. You know, it's just it helps escape. And if I like my goal again is always, whenever I post something, is if I can make at least one person laugh, smile, the goal is set. Like that's it. You know, now if there's more, then that's all icing on the cake. But at least like there was at least one person. You know, and then that's it. You know, just keep focused on that, and that's always the motivator.
Cool. Well, great pleasure, man. Thank you very much for being a part of La Voce with Lacroce.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for answering all these interesting questions, and I'm glad that we had the opportunity to chat. Like, and have a one-on-one with you know, just talking about, you know, some great things and what you're doing. So
sure.
Thank you again.
Awesome. Thank you.